Hey, Ben, pass the salt.
Hypothesis, man.
Ew.
That's right, bitch. I farted right in that face, dude.
That was beautiful.
That was one of my favorites so
I just
far.
want whoever animated that to know that it was appreciated by me, if no one else.
Yeah, it was me too.
This
it
is
was
the
beautiful.
last story. All right, so here we go.
No, not Tim Allen.
The great Tim Allen, star of one of the greatest sitcoms of all time.
It is a
Tool
good
Time.
I'll tell you what,
Home
though.
Improvement.
Like,
Home Improvement. Yeah, that's right.
I
Tool
seriously,
Time was the show within the show.
That's right.
I'll tell you what. Home Improvement, I would say mediocre sitcom.
Oh, come on, dude.
Yeah.
No, compared to Cheers or Taxi,
It had its
or
own thing, dude. You
Seinfeld,
can't put it up against that.
No,
You know, Home Improvement was okay.
I love
Mediocre.
The Neighbor, dude. Wilson.
there
The
were a
Neighbor.
lot of bad.
Wilson was cool.
There were a lot of bad sitcoms in the '90s around that era. Home Improvement, I would say, middle ground.
If you think about it, Wilson was basically God because he just knew the answer to everything, and nobody ever knew who he
well,
was.
Al was pretty badass too.
Al was awesome.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, not so much awesome, I guess, anymore. The headline says that he compares being a conservative in Hollywood to living in 1930s Germany.
Wow, hyperbole much? Last Man Standing star Tim Allen has been known to stoke the flames of controversy in the past. Sorry, stroke, yeah. The stand-up comic turned Home Improvement star, who had previously been arrested for cocaine possession in the 70s. Why are you dredging that old shit up?
It was a long time ago.
I mean, that's like the fucking 70s. Who gives a shit? Oh, yeah, he had some coke in the 70s. Who gives a fuck? Left people aghast over his unusual perspective on racial slurs and confounded liberals with his comparison of Hillary and Bill Clinton to sexually transmitted disease.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm
honestly.
okay with it so far.
So perhaps it's not too surprising to hear that his name is ensnared in another bit of hubbub. I love that. You don't really see the word hubbub enough.
Hubbub.
Over his haughty choice of... There's another nice H
Haughty.
word. This person is reading the H section of the dictionary today. Choice of words on the subject of politics. The latest gaffe. I mean, someone having an opinion you don't like is not necessarily a fucking gaffe, all right?
Somebody just had a fucking thesaurus in front of them when they wrote this.
The latest gaffe, however, might be the most disturbing of all. The Toy Story 4 star basically compared being a conservative in Hollywood to living in Nazi Germany. Yes, really. Oh, yeah, and you never see liberals make comparisons between the U.S. and Nazi
Yeah.
Germany, of course.
Never.
Allen recently appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live and discussed his appearance at the inauguration of President Donald Trump. Well, he was one of the few there. He said, yeah, I went to the inauguration. You've got to be real careful around here. You know, you get beat up if you don't believe what everybody else believes. I mean, that's clearly not true. You're on Jimmy Kimmel and you're on a fucking TV show and your career is maybe not the greatest ever, but
I mean,
it's
this
doing
certainly
okay.
probably isn't going to help it, but whatever.
This is like 30s Germany, he continued. I don't know what happened. If you're not part of the group, you know what we believe is right. You know I might have a problem with that. I'm a comedian. I like going on both sides. Okay, it's not like Nazi Germany. I don't know if that's just meant to be comedic hyperbole, but this Nazi shit gets thrown around way too much.
Yeah.
And
on both sides.
You know, you, Tim Allen, who's fucking, you're rich as fuck. I'm going to look up your net worth right now, actually.
Yeah, he's probably worth a
Pretty
lot of
high.
money.
I mean, because, you were in two successful fucking sitcoms. You've been in a few movies that actually did all right.
The
You had that
Santa
Santa
Claus,
Claus movie.
yeah.
Galaxy Quest was pretty good.
Galaxy Quest was actually a good movie.
flick.
It's a great movie. I'm not great. Well,
It's a good
It's
flick.
great for what it is.
Yeah.
Tim Allen.
There are some that consider that a Star Trek movie.
I would say that's you could make an argument.
Yep.
Your net worth is $80 million.
Fuck me.
You're sitting there with a net worth of $80 million
That's a whole
going
lot
on
of guap.
fucking Jimmy Kimmel and shit. You don't get to fucking act like you're the equivalent of the Jews in Nazi Germany.
Oh, no, dude. You know the Jews confined to ghettos in 1930s Nazi Germany were sitting on a fucking $80 million
Palatial
nut.
mansions.
Yeah, dude.
If Hitler hooked all the Jews up with mansions and shit, I don't think there'd be the controversy about the Holocaust that there was.
Yeah.
If what the Jews did was like, okay, you get $80 million and you're you're a fucking celebrity and you get to say whatever you want.
You get to sit and banter with Jimmy Kimmel about how hard your life
that's
is.
90s money for Tim Allen. Like, you don't see Tim Allen on the mainstream.
He's got some new show that's reasonably successful.
He's doing fine, dude.
He's doing all right.
He's doing better than most people.
He's from the same area I am.
He's not like what he's not as successful as he was in the 90s, but he still gets work.
When I used to watch Home Improvement, he would always make references to Toledo, and he would wear like one time he was wearing the sweater of the like little community college that I went to in Home Improvement. Yeah, like it was kind of weird.
The actor has been outspoken about his support for the Republican Party during and after the recent election cycle, and has previously compared Tinseltown's tendency to be largely liberal to bullying. He told Megyn Kelly on Fox News, "What I find odd about Hollywood is they didn't like Trump because he was a bully, but if you had any kind of inkling that you were for Trump, you got bullied."
What is it? So? Okay, look. He's working in a liberal-dominated industry. Everybody knows that, Tinseltown or whatever the fuck is largely liberal.
But he doesn't get bullied.
Right. What is he calling bullying?
Yeah.
Did they bully him with fucking wads of $100 bills to pad out his $80 million? Like, honestly. Yeah, maybe he gets like accosted by people. Maybe people engage him and talk. Maybe he loses some jobs over his outspoken political.
Let's watch this.
But wait a minute. I mean, like, if you were working in a primarily conservative industry and you had strong, like, you're working at like I don't know, a gun shop or something.
Sure.
And you're like the liberal guy that works at the gun shop and is always chatting people's ears off about I'm a liberal and blah blah blah. All those conservative rednecks that love guns are not just going to be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no.
They're going to give you shit, too. If you have a fucking opinion that goes against the norm of the people around you, then, yeah, you do get shit for it. That's just the reality of fucking life. And maybe it's unfair. Maybe people have been unreasonable to him about it.
Maybe.
But for him to compare it to being like, I'm a fucking... I'm basically being shipped off to the concentration camp or something.
Yeah, I'm going to Dachau.
I'm living under the fucking totalitarian Nazi rule of fucking Tinseltown. I don't fucking buy into that level of horse shit for
dude.
one goddamn second.
Riding into Dachau on a diamond train.
About America. Joining me now, 2017.
I think we actually watched this video on the show before.
Did we?
Yes. There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
He stars in
We
ABC.
did?
Thank you, Jess.
Oh, yeah.
Better late than
I believe we did. I've seen it before at any rate. Maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't on the show, but
I don't remember it being.
I've
on the
watched
show.
some other. But yeah, in this interview, he basically kind of says the same thing. He said, I'm persecuted for being right wing and shit. He tries to talk politics, but it's pretty obvious that he's not very well informed. I'm not saying that just because he's conservative, he just didn't really seem like a very well-informed guy.
No, he's just a comedian that had a few successful TV shows.
I love how these conservatives, though, every time a fucking liberal actor or something makes any sort of like Sean Penn or Tim Robbins or Susan Sarandon or some bullshit,
Sure.
it's always like, shut up and, just do your job. You're an actor.
Shut up and sing.
Tim
Right.
Allen's a hero, though, for speaking out his conservatism.
But when Tim Allen does, like he has
He's
to
a
be
hero.
lionized and venerated and act like, oh, well, now that he's doing it, like, okay, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the fucking gander, dude.
Yeah.
When Ted Nugent comes out and says his conservative bullshit, you guys applaud. When John Voight does it, you applaud. Kelsey Grammer, that's another Hollywood conservative. Tim Allen, all these guys in Hollywood that are conservative, that they love their persecution complex.
Over 60.
They love fucking acting like they're so fucking bullied and persecuted, but every one of these motherfuckers still gets jobs. Every one of these motherfuckers is still working in the industry. They're not
doing
being
just fine.
They're not
Kelsey,
being denied.
I mean, can you think of another person that played the same character for like 20 years?
no.
Kelsey fucking Grammer. I mean, like, what the fuck? I mean, I know this is a tangent.
From
but-
one show to the next, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Cheers
for 20
directly into
years.
Frasier.
The only character I can even think of that even had a similar run, but not nearly as long,
Benson?
was Michael Dorn.
Homer Simpson is coming up on that, too.
That's true, but that's
Yeah.
all in one show continuously.
And that's Hank Azaria, right?
I think Homer Simpson's already passed.
No, it wasn't Hank
that.
Azaria doing Homer. That's
Who-
someone else.
Oh, yeah, Hank is. Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking
He
of
does
another-
like Apu and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But there was, do you remember Benson?
No.
He was a character. Well, yeah, you guys are. I don't know if Paul remembers.
What show was he
That
on?
was like a 1970s, early 1980s sitcom character.
Oh, he was like the butler or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
first, he was
Dan
on Soap.
Castellaneta is the guy that plays Homer.
Yes.
Yep, Dan Castellaneta. Huh?
Yeah, but you're right though. Like he started out on a show called Soap, and then became like his own sitcom after that.
It's pretty cool.
A lot of this will have to be cut.
Like this no, that's fine. This persecution complex shit has got to go though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of seeing it from everybody. I'm
Suck
just
it up,
tired of
Tim.
everyone being a fucking victim and everyone just engaging in this hyperbolic, like, oh, woe is me bullshit. This is just special snowflake bullshit on the right.
You can't really be victimized too hard while you're
I
sitting
mean-
on your fat, well-fed ass on Jimmy Kimmel's couch, coasting along on your $80 million network.
It has to end sooner or later, though. Like they could do this while Democrats were in control, but now their people are in control.
Yeah, I mean, like, you already have the establishment. Like, you know, Trump's president. The Congress is majority Republican. You got most of the fucking governorships. Republicans control most counties in the United States.
You're not persecuted.
Yeah, like you don't get to like, but this is the same thing Christians do too.
Sure.
They go around they're 80% of the population, and yet they act like there's some persecuted minority that's just having their rights just trampled on a daily basis. It's just nonsense.
It is.
It's total and utter gibberish. It's not fucking true. There's not even a sliver of truth to it. Probably, if Tim Allen came out and said, you know, yeah, sometimes I get shit for being conservative, I would buy that.
Sure.
I believe that. But for him to liken it to fucking Nazi Germany is just beyond the pale fucking stupid.
I
But,
don't think so, Tim.
yeah. You should have consulted Wilson about this one.
I don't think so, Tim.
I always wanted to be like Wilson in the early days of DP. Be like,
I'm kind of like him now because I got this
Yeah.
this mic
That's
blocking
true.
it's so
my
hard
mouth.
to like make sure that the video audio sync is in place. I have to skip over all the TJ parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever I'm talking, you can't even see my mouth anyway. Maybe we should all just have that. Then it
That
wouldn't even
is
matter
my
if we're out of
pop
sync,
filter,
you know?
TJ. I might take it back.
Hashtag TJ
I think that might
is
be my pop
pre-recorded.
filter.
TJ is pre-recorded.
I'm just
TJ is
my audio is
pre-recorded.
piped in from
No,
a different location.
now he's speaking for the first time. I'm not going to keep silent anymore. He's pre-recorded.
This is my real voice, so
Lance, just tell him the truth, Lance.
shut up, Paul Zico. I can't deal with this right now. This is just how I talk.
You sound like someone else.
This is me. You know,
Too easy.
it's just too easy. Shut up. Shut